Good morning, world. If you're watching it in the morning, I know that we're filming it tonight. We stayed up for you again and watched the second night of the RNC.
Good stuff.
Did you like it? Did you like it?
Yes.
Did you like it as good as the first night, or?
It's getting better. I think they do the progressive. They build on it, a little scaffolding, and they make sure each night is a little bit better than the night before. So I think they did a good job tonight.
And we did. We actually picked a channel last night. I made the mistake, and I just taped it on one of the main channels and found out it was just kind of a recap hour. This time I found a station. Unfortunately, I don't get C-SPAN. I heard they're carrying the whole thing. So I had to do it on MSNBC.
It's okay. That's good. I told you that was good.
I know. He liked that we had the commentary, because then you can see, and we'll go over that at the end. But first, before we do that, we want to just update you on what we found out. For those of you who maybe are seeing this and haven't watched the news, we wanted to give you an update on the Wisconsin Jacob Blake case, the guy who was shot by the police officer in the back. I know originally it was shown that he just was kind of walking around a car with officers with their guns out. They tried to restrain him. He didn't restrain him. They shot him. A couple things. One, he did not pass away. No, but he did. He is
paralyzed.
Yeah, now they're saying he's paralyzed. But the new footage from another angle shows that the officers did tase him, did take him to the ground. He still got away from him, wouldn't stop, and then that's so.
Yeah, but you're going to share why they were called out to there.
Oh yeah. So not only the original media was he was just trying to break up a fight between two women. Well, he has a warrant out for his arrest, and one of the things on the warrant was sexual assault on a 15-year-old. He's 29 years old. Okay, and there was a couple other things on that warrant too. But I mean, that again, it's always sad when somebody gets shot, and he was unarmed. But obviously, we don't know what he was reaching for yet. Obviously, these details will come out. But again, he's not an innocent bystander. He's not an innocent guy. You saw even on the original footage that he did not comply, and like Cedric said before, comply.
I think you and I both got a little pushback from different people on that. I know I got a lot. It's almost like we weren't rejoicing in that something happened to him. We were just saying if you would just comply and do what you're told, you would be home at full to celebrate birthdays with your girls, and your kids are in the car.
Yeah,
they're seeing this.
I know. For one, they were saying something. If you've got a warrant for your arrest for these bad things, should you even be getting in a car with children? So
that's true.
So like I said on a couple episodes with that one, you have to put yourself in the officer's shoes also, and they're going in knowing this warrant was out. I think he also had a weapons charge on there too. Right. So anyway, we just wanted to update you on that. Now we'll get into the RNC. I know yesterday I made the mistake of saying DNC. That's RNC.
Right. Forgiven.
We did play the China game again.
Yes. It was said a few more times today.
Yeah, and since it wasn't said at the beginning, we added freedom and liberty to the words to drink to.
Right.
But then Mike Pompeo came out and said China about 100 times. That was it. We were done.
My throat's still burning.
I also wanted to just touch on some pushback I didn't get. Of course, you open social media. I mean, we all need a break from social media, except for YouTube. Don't stop watching. Right. I opened up Facebook, and somebody on there was criticizing the RNC, of course. They liked the DNC. I mean, did they really watch the DNC? Saying that RNC was a bunch of fear-mongering. So then I went back and I looked at Michelle Obama's speech and a couple other people's speech from the DNC. All they talked about was how we have to fear, number one, fear COVID, stay locked up in our houses, fear the police because of the injustices. And then they said that the RNC was fear-mongering because they had a gentleman who actually was from Cuba talking about how he doesn't want to see this country go to socialism, and they called that fear-mongering. I mean, come on. There's reality, and what we see, AOC and the squad, they call themselves democratic socialists. We're not making it up. We're not fear-mongering. They call themselves democratic socialists. So,
well, the channel we were watching, I know you're probably going to touch on it later when
at the end,
First Lady was going to come out. And the first thing they said was, "Oh, they're not 6 feet apart."
Yeah, well, I'm going to get that at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll hit that.
Okay.
So I just wanted to hit that. So then the first thing, so Cedric and I were sitting there with our drinks in our hands, and they brought out some blue-collar workers from places like Wisconsin and Minnesota. So they're playing the swing state game. They're smart. They're doing the smart thing. They know they need the votes of the blue-collar common man from these states, and they did a good job.
Farmers, dairy farmers, the people who work and till the soil and the land, and so we can have some of the things that we have in this country.
Yeah, and they talked about how Trump brought those. His whole promise was to bring jobs back to America, which he did do. And so they brought people from the heartland to say, hey, yeah, they saved some of these jobs, and he still wants to do that. So I thought those were good points.
Yeah, they were great points.
Yeah. So. And you can fact check all this if you need to, but if you're doing this, obviously the DNC and the RNC, this is like we said, the pep rallies, so they need to do something that's going to pump people up.
Right.
You can fact check it later, but I thought the points were valid and they were good.
Right.
Yeah, the speakers were good too. He also did a thing that I thought was going to be bad. They brought Trump out with the people that were getting
citizenship
to the United States from these 4 or 5 different countries. At first I thought, it's going to be kind of hokey, but you know what? When he actually talked and brought the people's names up, I thought it worked.
Yeah.
I thought it worked. At first I didn't think it would work, and then I said, no, I think it did. I think it worked.
It was great. It was a great touch.
And it was a good way to say that the president is not against immigration. He's against illegal immigration.
Right.
But he's showing that his wife's a legal immigrant. He's for immigration. He just wants you to go through the proper steps. It's fair. He's for fairness.
Right. And the big thing that I got out of that was it was great for them to have the opportunity to become citizens of the United States of America, but it just shows that how much people who are not from this country appreciate the things that we don't appreciate.
Yeah.
And we take it for granted, and not everyone, but to see the look in their eye, to see the glee and the excitement and the joy of becoming American citizens was just it was cool to see.
I know. And I made a joke with Cedric. I said, can we trade those 5 that just came in for 5 of the Antifa or the people that are burning the flag? I mean, I'd happy to make that trade.
Yeah.
Because if they don't like it here, they don't like what this country stands for. There's thousands of other countries. I don't know. There's thousands, hundreds.
Yeah. I'm still in for those who were going to leave back in 2016 when Trump officially went into office.
Yeah, they never left.
They're still here
because they know what country is the best. Let's see. What do we talk about? Oh, they hit this a few times. Equality of opportunity.
Yes.
That's what this country stands. It's not a quality of outcome.
Right.
It's a quality of opportunity, and I thought they hit that point well.
They hit it very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with that, so part of our drinking game, so when they mention freedom and liberty.
Yes.
Those are the important things, though. That is what this country stands for.
Yes.
Freedom, liberty, equality of opportunity.
Yeah, we're all going to have the same outcomes because, like those 5 individuals that were granted American citizenship, they hit the ground running, they worked it, and they had different outcomes than someone who's waiting for a handout.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about this country is you get to pick your path, and your path. If your path may only be something that pays you $50,000 a year, but that's what you want to do.
Right.
That's fine. Another person wants to make $1 million a year. They're going to pursue that. That's what they choose.
Right.
Somebody can't say, well, I want to get this job that's supposed to pay 70, but I want to make $1 million. That's not how it works.
Right.
There is more value on certain things, and you don't have to make $1 million. We don't make $1 million. We have good lives. And, you're talking to a teacher and a chiropractor, and we chose those paths because we're happy at what we do and we make enough money to live our lives.
Right.
And then we both do side jobs. So Cedric did other jobs too. He did real estate. He had that opportunity to do that. So I think the RNC hit that we have the freedom to pick what we want.
Right.
And you have to know going in, and it's about what you're going to make by doing certain professions. There's no secret.
No.
It's the people who want to do one thing but make this.
Right.
Or the dreamers who think I'm going to become I wanted to be a professional football player when I was in high school. So I obviously reality hits. He wanted to be a basketball player. So when reality hits, you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to cry and whine and say, well, why can't I become a football player?
Right.
You just say, okay, that's not in the stars for me. Let me find something that fits me.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going off a little bit. It was back to the jobs and the blue collar and all that. One thing we found out is that in 2018 we had the lowest deaths from drug overdose in 30 years. 30 years.
Yes.
So so that's good.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's good. I bet you that's going to go up this year because of the whole COVID thing. Because they said that loneliness, suicides, everything is
depression,
on the rise.
Anxiety, unfortunately, divorce.
Yep.
Things of that nature. Those are going up.
Yeah. And when you're depressed and you're alone, you tend to self-medicate.
Right.
So that's unfortunate.
Kind of like we were doing while we were watching.
Yeah. So we were. I had to keep looking at that MSNBC symbol, and I was like, I got to drink. I'm kidding. I love MSNB hee-haw. That's a Larry Elder thing. They hit more Cuba, liberty versus socialism. So they keep hitting the same theme. I like the theme because the Democrats steered them that way. When the Democrats, we played a clip for you on the Democrat convention, national convention, of a person actually at the convention talking about how she wants to get rid of capitalism.
Oh, geez.
Okay, so it's fair for then the Republicans to hit the socialism versus liberty, capitalism. It's fair. It's fair game. They're not making up. They're not fear-mongering it. Go back and look at the first day of the Democratic National Convention. They had those little squares with the 6 people or 4 people, and one of them, she just said that straight out. We want to get rid of capitalism. So Eric Trump came out.
Eric was good.
Yeah, so we had the other son the first day. We had a lot of Trumps today.
Right. Donald.
Yesterday we had Donald. Today we had Tiffany, Eric, Melania.
Yes.
So Eric came out. I thought he was strong. He's a strong speaker.
Yes.
Obviously, they're all reading these. They're teleprompters. I don't know who wrote their speeches. Maybe they helped write them, but they presented him well. I mean, everybody loved Obama because he was a great teleprompter reader. He was a good orator. Obviously, he was reading other people's speeches. So whether Eric was reading his own or reading somebody else's, he did a good job. I like the points that he brought up, but I do have a fact check. He was talking about sending humans to Mars. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen in our lifetime.
That's okay. We'll overlook that.
So, I think he was trying to bring up the old excitement of the space program, but, whatever.
To infinity and beyond.
Yes. So, and with that, we said, I think they're going to send the Democrats to Mars.
Let's just send them all.
So
they have their own utopia up there on Mars.
Yes, they can start their own colony. Socialism, communism for all.
Chop Chaz Mars.
Yeah. They did invoke the name of Reagan a bunch of times.
Yes.
Smart. They're hitting their base. The Reagan base was strong in the 80s. They're trying to bring that base back. It's similar. It's not the same. Obviously, Reagan was a much better speaker than Trump. He didn't poke the bear as much, and when he did it in such a clever way that people just liked it.
Right.
Where Trump does it in a way where people hate it.
Yeah.
Unless you love him, but other times people hate him. That's why people are going to vote for Trump like this a lot of times. But
yeah. Ronnie had that way of invoking his acting skills to get his point across. Yeah.
Well, they were both on TV.
Yes. Yes.
Let's see. Oh, one thing they did bring up. And Rachel Maddow tried to fact check on the air, but the way she words it, and this is my problem with the journalists now. Journalist, I use that in quotations. She words it so she hedges her bets. So she said something like, "Oh well, I believe we have more troops now than before he took office. I believe." So that way she can't be. She's not putting herself on the line. So if she's wrong, she said, well, I just said I believe it. What I do know is Trump has promised to bring the troops home. He's planning on bringing the troops home. There will be less troops there.
Right.
So we know the intent of his words. I know people like Tim IRL. Tim Cast. I can't remember his last name. Anyways, he's a Democrat. He's left-leaning, but he likes Trump because he's an anti-war guy, and Trump's bringing the troops home. So, Rachel Maddow, I don't care. I mean, you may say you believe that, but we know his intent is to bring the troops home. Trump said he wasn't for the Iraq war. He's not a war guy.
Right.
So, So and he gets in trouble with that with some of the Republicans who work more, hawks.
Right.
So
Right.
Let's see. Now we get to the highlight of the show. Melania Trump.
She was good. She did a really good job.
Was she talking? I was just staring at her. No, I'm just kidding.
She did a great job.
She did a good job.
She articulated her point very well. She hit on faith and family and freedom.
Yeah, well, that was that was through the night. And then she hit a lot on children.
Yes.
The troops, children.
Women out there in the workplace.
Yeah, women in the workplace. If she were a Democrat, if Donald Trump was a Democrat, she would be the Jackie O of our time.
She would be on every magazine cover. Yeah. She doesn't need a lot of publicity.
She does not. And like I said, Jackie Onassis Kennedy was on. She was on news magazines. TV wasn't as big back then, but she made the rounds because she was a beautiful first lady. Well, Melania Trump is a beautiful first lady. She's eloquent. She comes from another country, so this is her second language, or I think she speaks multiple languages.
Right.
But she does a great job. She has to read. Obviously, she was reading from a teleprompter. They all do. Mm-hmm. But she did a great job, and then she would look at that camera, and I thought she did a great job. I came up with a term for her, but Cedric's not going to let me say it. So if you guys want to send me a private comment on there.
I just don't know when to stop. Well, she's a very beautiful lady. We'll leave it at that.
Yes. She did talk. Oh, she brought up COVID. She brought up COVID, and we're going to wrap this up. So let me just she brought up loneliness, suicide, and COVID, and all that. So, and one other thing that we noticed, she said, in my next 4 years.
Yeah, she stated that very hard. Like in my next 4 years, I will be doing this, this, and this.
And that's because she's a business person. Her husband's a business person. It's act as if, and that's what they teach you. You have to act as if. You place yourself there already. It's a smart move. People that are entrepreneurs know that type of language. You put yourself in the place that you're already there.
Right.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But then at the end, and Cedric said, I had to do this. You had to listen to the comment. He goes, you have to listen to the commenting from MSNBC.
I know you hate it.
Because they're so little. These people are little. And I know they do this on the other side too. I don't like it from either side. But, so the first thing, and Cedric brought this up, is when Melania was talking, she did it in front of a crowd, which was great because then there was applause. Well, the first thing, and she's so nitpicky, these people are so little. So she kept saying...
Well, they set up little white chairs in the White House Rose Garden.
And she's like, I don't think those are 6 feet apart.
She said it so snarky.
I know. Those aren't 6 feet apart. And then, I don't see a lot of masks there. For one, they've probably all been tested, number one. You're in with the President of the United States and the First Lady. They've all been tested, okay? President Trump was sitting right there amongst them. They've been tested. But these small little people have to bring these little... They couldn't get her for the content of what she was saying.
Right.
Let's be, oh my gosh. And then what Rachel Maddow said is, oh my gosh, I waited 2 days now for them to finally acknowledge COVID-19. Because they're trying to play into the fact that, it's Trump's fault, so they needed to apologize for it. Like I said, these people are so little. And those are the two things that came up. And then the second person comes out, and she says the same thing. I didn't see a lot of masks there. Well, Cedric and I brought up a clip of, who was the congressman who just died? John
Lewis.
John Lewis. We showed scenes from the funeral. Yeah. They weren't social distance. They were right next to each other.
Right.
And then they showed that those masks aren't that effective. So,
and again, everyone's heard this statistic, and we're looking at a disease that has a 98%, a 99% survival rate.
99.4, I think they're saying now.
That's and this may be a poor analogy, but when I look at conservatives, whatever, you look at this whole thing that you're eating from the Republican National Convention and the Democratic National Convention. It seems like, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will, it's like the Republicans, they focus on like the meat of what's going on with stuff, and the left focuses on the fluff, the dessert. That you can't get full on it, but it's like we got it. let's just throw that in there to distract from what's really going on.
Yeah, like I said, it's small of them, and the DN like we brought you the DNC one. Theirs was we have this disease. It did not come from the United States, but it's Trump's fault that people died, which is far. Then I brought up the graphs. The states that have most of the deaths, that are in the thousands per million, is New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts. They're all blue states.
Right.
All right. But the media, all you would say is, oh my gosh, Texas and Florida and Georgia and Arizona, oh my God, everybody's dying. They don't have that many deaths. They're below the average for deaths per million. Right. But anyway, maybe I'm nitpicking with that, but for them to come out on a place where these people have been tested, she's giving a speech, a really good speech, and the first thing they talk about is, oh, they finally apologized for the COVID, like they needed to apologize for it. Right. They're not social distancing in their chairs, and not enough people were wearing masks. Oh, there's your critique. But that's been their whole thing. When we watched the DNC, it was, oh, Trump has killed 170,000 people. Trump did that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we thought we'd give you our overview.
Yes.
So hopefully we get more comments.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
I like that.
We're getting these out to you quick. In fact, I found out our last 2 videos yesterday, the one on Jacob and Blake and the RNC, we got out before a lot of the people we watch.
Really?
Our stuff was there, and then I watched it later. I'm like, yeah, we already hit those points.
Get that.
So you heard it here first.
That's right. My goodness. Well, are we wrapping this up?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
So people can go to bed.
Yep.
Well, we thank you guys for watching. Again, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Leave your comments, share your viewpoints, and make sure you share this video and all of our videos with everyone you know. And we're not going to be back tomorrow night, are we?
Tomorrow night I have my fantasy football draft, so we're going to do a wrap up at the end of night 4, so after Thursday, and we'll do a big one on Thursday of the final.
So I get the night off tomorrow?
Night's off tomorrow, but get ready for Trump will be speaking on Thursday, so we'll have our China classes.
China.
China.
Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'm Cedric.
And I'm Brian. See ya.